Hello and welcome back to another episode today. Today we're actually going to be expanding the forest by a humongous amount. I'm going to leave filling in the forest on the mountain until the castle's done so I can see how it all looks. But I'm at least going to expand the forest around this area and hopefully build the little huts and cottages for all the farming village in this area and fill this whole area with trees near the greenhouse too. I'll use smaller ones here that I've designed and maybe some really thin areas where there's some different types of trees, so not just the pine trees. I've designed some new types because these ones aren't the best, and maybe some oak trees as well, or just custom oak trees, custom birch trees. So yeah, what you saw me do in that little intro was I got rid of some of the outstanding trees here that were a bit too much, and I trimmed down a few of them too to make them look a bit better so they'll blend in with the new trees. I also removed some in some spots, so now if you jump down here, I've got a nice little opening here. I also removed all the torches, so when you're coming down here it feels like the bits of trees are really dark, and then it sort of opens up into lighter areas where things like the lake are, so that's all done purposely. And it'll look a bit more uniform once I have more trees surrounding the area, and these trees will have a bit of a bigger base. There's a nice opening here, so maybe I'll put a little bench or something, or maybe even a camping tent here, because it's like a bit of a clearing. But yeah, so when I did that, I also gathered a ton of leaves for the new trees, and I used my tree farm to just get some spruce logs, so a few of those. I actually need to run and get some tuff, because I was doing a bit of research, and not really research, just whenever I went out I'd take a look at the trees near me, and around me all the trees aren't actually brown. Most trees I think are actually a grey colour. I saw B-Dubs did that with his trees, where you mix tuff in with the stripped spruce instead of that darker spruce. So yeah, we're going to strip all of these when we build them, of course. And I also got a ton of birch leaves. I had some of them left over before from the old trees, and some azalea leaves as well. I also had a few of those left over. I think I gathered about a sugar box of each, and I had about 9 sacks left over and a whole sugar box, almost a double chest in there still. But anyways, yeah, so it's a bit of a tough task because I don't really know what to do first, because I'm going to split two things into 2 episodes. So I think today, I don't really know, because I can't just leave the forest on a barren land like this. I need to decorate the floor with big bushes and, different colours of dirt and stuff, and all these ferns, so it looks like a nice forest floor. Some rocks as well. It's a bit of a hard task because we need to do all of that, and that would make one pretty hefty episode. So I think I'm going to do that plus the trees today, and then probably not the whole area. And then in a separate episode we can build the little houses that will go here. And I've got a cool idea over here. I think I'm going to build an abandoned train station with train tracks going through here. And I think it would be cool to have an abandoned train station and some buildings here. But yeah, so that's about it. So I think I'll just test out building the forest floor here, just in this little hilly area. Because I know I'm definitely going to put trees here. So let's build a bunch of bushes, a bunch of different coloured dirt, and some ferns and grass into this whole area, and a mix of some of these nice blue coloured stuff here. Probably keep 1 or 2 mushrooms, but yeah, and then it'll be a bit clearer over here, just a bit clearer. Not as dense as this. So let's go ahead and make a nice little time lapse of doing that. And before we start, just quickly, I had to actually gather quite a few more resources, so I'll bring you through them quickly. We've got all the blue stuff, some bone meal and some ferns to make double ferns and double grass, which I got from my little fern machine in the industrial district. Some stuff for rocks, azalea leaves. I got all this from a what was it called, a mega tiger biome, which is just off in that direction, about 1,000 or 2,000 blocks. I looked in the moss farm because I was in the industrial district and I needed some moss. Then I realised, because I thought it would be nice for the ground, then I realised I've got so many moss carpets in there that I'll just use those instead. And yeah, I also got some tuff for the trees themselves. And also, a bit of a random note before we start, I named the pufferfish, so he's called Puffy now. Very cute. But with all that being said, now we can actually start. I also AFK'd the mob farm for a bit of gunpowder and some more bones, so that's where I got those from. So without further ado, let's transform this area into a nice little semi-forested forest. Okay, so already I've just laid down a few things and it's already looking quite nice for a forest floor. We've got some big boulder rocks, some nice bushes of leaves here and there, and some of the blue aspects as well. So if we just continue this, but we'll add a few less things because it's not on the sideline of the path, and we'll just add a bunch of ferns and grass, then we can start adding in the trees. But I think I'll do the rest in a nice big time lapse, and I'll probably add the trees in the same time lapse too. Now, I'm starting to wonder if putting a whole forest here is even a good idea, because I'll definitely expand the forest a bit, but over this way, and it'll be around the whole mountain. But I don't know if it's necessary here, because look how beautiful it is just walking down these little pathways through the rocks without trees. I like this one. I think it'll lead to a little farming hut maybe, and I made this terraforming bit which I really like, the rocks up to the little hill, and it's got, yeah, I really like that. And I added all the grass and ferns where they're necessary around this path. It's just a few tall ones here and there near the bushes and rocks, but mostly short, so it's nice like this. But yeah, so I think it's a possibility that we'll continue the forest the whole way down. I'll probably add a few trees and maybe some different trees, like some oak trees, not just pine trees, custom ones though, of course. But yeah, I'll definitely continue the trees a bit more, so we'll probably do that next. I've got some new designs which I might try and blend in, and then I'll experiment with the possibility of building up a nice big oak tree here, and maybe some more over there as well. I'll expand, I'll probably put another tree here or so, and one probably in that spot there, and maybe a few more down this area. And I'll fill up some of the gaps here with some nice trees, and then I'll start designing a nice oak tree. So let's hop into another time lapse, and also this is where Magnus's little stables area is here. Magnus is over there though, and this wandering trader just hopped in. I have no idea how, but I think he can stay there for now. He's got no pufferfish, so it's a bit of a funny coincidence. So yeah, let's go ahead and build up a few more trees. I've added in a few trees now, some over here and this one over there. I like them, they're a bit different to the other trees, but I think they blend in well enough to start the new forest. And yeah, I just added this little one down here as sort of the last edge of the forest. Maybe I'll add a few tiny little sprout ones, like they're only 10 or so blocks high. And then I added this one over here, which is going to be the end of this forest. Once again, I'll add a few little sprouts, maybe here or there. I've got to continue them over this way. I don't really know where I'm going to have the fishing village, so maybe I won't do that yet. And yeah, so I think that's great for the forest. Of course, we've continued up the mountain when the castle's in. I go to sleep. But I think overall this is probably the best terraforming I've ever done. It looks really nice, you know. And I think it all comes together really, really nicely. And we can walk down here and go to the little lake as well. So I'm really happy with this whole forest, how it's come out. Of course I've got to finish the waterfall coming up. I'll probably add a lake or reservoir near the castle. And we've got to add that bench here in the little clearing, a picnic table maybe. And yeah, so I think that's done with this forest for now, and I might start filling in this area with stuff, as well as adding in those oak trees I was talking about that might look really nice. Stay 885. This was a surprisingly quick job. I expected it to be longer, but I've gotten better and quicker at terraforming lately. So yeah, it was a leave. But so I think the next step in this forest is going to be adding a nice little oak tree or 2 or 3 or 4. One here will be good, I think, just up there. One down here. I don't want to block this view, I want this area to be open. And then maybe one here, and one over here maybe, so about 4. Here is the tree. I think it turned out splendidly. Very happy with it, and it's not bad for a first time building an oak tree. I've tried designing a few, but it never turned out very well, so I'm happy that this one did. I used a tutorial which shows you how to build branches a bit better and sort of the structure of branches, and I studied a few real life trees, and I think it turned out okay, so I'll leave a link to the tutorial in the description. It isn't a block by block one, so don't worry, it just helps you understand how leaves form and stuff. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Looks really nice as you're walking down here. Just a big old oak tree. It's not perfect, of course, but I think for me that's quite a beautiful little tree there. I really love this angle of it. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Let's see it from the greenhouse, maybe. Oh, I love that. That could be a thumbnail. Wow, that's a beautiful view of the little house. The chimney coming up. Man, this is quite a build. I'm pretty pleased with myself. Definitely diving into the unknown with all this organic stuff, but it's great practice just to build a ton of trees. They're really time consuming, but it's like a painting, really. So yeah, it's good I gathered all the materials first hand though, because this is it's an annoying task to have to go and gather random materials, but I have them all there, so that took a few days. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. The question is, do we build any more? I think I'll build 1 or 2 more around, maybe some smaller ones, bigger ones too, but yeah, not too many, because otherwise it'll look a bit strange. And now I don't think, unless we use much bigger ones, I don't think bigger as in taller. I don't think it'll do a good forest. So I'm not going to make an oak tree forest, but now we have that design, it's really nice. So instead of an oak tree forest, I have no idea what I'm going to put near the greenhouse. I'm going to put the huts, obviously, the farming houses, but yeah, so it's a bit of a difficult thing. We could always put some more large buildings, like a secondary city. Maybe we could have some buildings in here that connect to the paths. Maybe even some, that's an idea, we could put some smaller greenhouses down there, or just a few little trees here and there, and some small glass houses with some more plants. I think that's a good idea. Probably one for another episode though. Today we're not done though, but this is a beautiful start here, and I'm trying not to do just one big time lapse of it all because it is quite a process, so I thought I'd share it with you. I'm no master at this, but I'm getting better. So yeah, this is a really big step in the right direction, and I love being under it too. Maybe we could add a second picnic table here. This is really nice. But enough talking. I think it's time to start work on building some more of these. And yeah, once again, I'll link the tutorial down so you too can build trees like this, because I tried building them just by myself, and with my own knowledge, they turned out pretty terrible. But I'm glad I now have the knowledge and power to build decent custom trees. So let's go into another time lapse. Okay, so I finished the second tree over there. I also added a bunch of fluffy grass and everything around the whole area just to make the landscape a bit nicer. I really like this view of the area as well. But yeah, so I added all the grass in here in little patches with some ferns and a few dandelions for a bit of colour at least. So I think that looks pretty nice. But here is the second tree. I like it as well. It's a bit bigger than the other one, and yeah, it's now a nice little frame of our whole area here, and we'll probably add some pine trees around the back of that as well. But yeah, I'm really loving this nice little terraformed area now. It feels very full of life and nice like the rest of the forest. But this is some of my favourite terraforming ever, with some pretty good trees for my level. But yeah, that's about it, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.